Okay, so we are on the second day of writing your rough draft, and again, the last video was very, very long, but it should be good evidence for you to let you know that if you are given a lot of time to write an FSA essay on that, day that the test happens, use every second of that time. If you finished early, you probably didn't write a strong essay. It should be a difficult task. It should be something that takes you a really long time to accomplish. Keep an eye on the clock because you don't want to be on paragraph number 2 because it is so hard and the teacher says time's up. You want to make sure you delegate your time appropriately and give enough time to plan it, write it, and then check it. This is a challenging task, so that's why we're practicing now. Let's go back here to the rough draft and open that. Let's go back here to the outline and open that. I would like to write a legal paragraph and then a conclusion and be done. That's why, remember we said, get a lot of work done the first day, and you only have a little bit on the second day in case an emergency happens, in case you have extra homework somewhere else. Right now we have the legal paragraph. Let's see what the evidence was. I stole some evidence from it, but let's see. If presented with the question of whether or not an ESA should be allowed in a public establishment, comma, one would have to use the law to answer that question. Legally, comma, can a dog, an untrained dog, sit next to me while I'm eating? Legally, can an untrained sit next to patrons while they are eating? Period. Question mark. Didn't we read that service dogs are allowed and that's because they're trained? Let's go to that article. This one. Only dogs are recognized as service dogs. A service animal is individually trained to do work or perform a task. Okay, so that's that one there. The answer is yes, if that dog is trained. The article, the service animals article, defines a service animal as gives a definition that can clear this issue up. A service animal is specifically trained to perform a task. Based upon the already mentioned evidence, an emotional support dog is not necessarily trained, period. So we've used evidence. Now we have to explain, kind of elaborate on that evidence. The rules for emotional support animals are not clear, are not as clear as the rules have been for service animals, period. We've already talked about that. There are mentions, though, about where an an ESA can go. The Pets Allowed article explains that the Fair Housing Act, yikes, permits ESAs to live in houses even if pets are not typically allowed there. Period. The Air Carrier Act lets ESAs ride with their owners free of charge. These are the only two laws that mentioned in the provided articles that permit ESAs. I don't want to use permit again. Synonym. Authorize. ESAs in specific areas. The owner does have to carry paperwork for the animal, though. I think I remember the paperwork is not very specific. It just says, like, you're in charge of training this dog. Asking you what I require. So I'm going to say the part that I remember reading, even though I didn't copy and paste that. Many times, though, the paperwork provided by one of the many certifying organizations simply states that the owner is supposed to train their ESA. This may or may not happen. Right click. Okay, so again, let's go back to the topic because I feel like I'm losing track of why I'm writing that paragraph. It's legal reasons. Without more laws detailing where an ESA can and cannot go, it is difficult to keep the animals out or allow the animals in. The confusion is understandable. Understandable. Now, conclusion, and I think I already have. They allowed to resolve different legislation about animals being allowed in public transportation and perhaps in cafes and more public places. Okay, so the soldier, upon reading the story of the soldier with post-traumatic stress disorder and how his dog helps him navigate through his daily activities, about having read the story of the soldier with post-traumatic stress disorder. So I'm trying to bring it full circle by mentioning him again and how his dog helps him through his daily activities. It is difficult to state an opinion on the issue of ESAs. He truly needs that dog to be a full member. Truly needs that dog so he can be a full member of society. Meanwhile, dogs like Bo and Truffles enjoy the same privileges with less responsibility and less training. I want to say yes, I think they should be allowed, but there should be rules about having to train them. Emotional support animals. Animals should be allowed the same privileges as service animals, but they should be required to undergo training just the same. The government Kelly Gorman Dunbar, a dog trainer from Berkeley, states that feels that the government should pass more laws detailing clarifying what should and should not count as an ESA. I want to say in the article, and then I don't know how to refer to that article because I forget what the AF one was. Advocates fight against fake service dogs. In the article, advocates fight against fake service dogs, Kelly Gorman Dunbar, a dog trainer from Berkeley, feels that states that the government should pass more laws clarifying what should and should not count as an ESA. More clear direction would help this privilege keep this privilege, I spell this wrong every time, privilege from being taken advantage of, and it would ensure that the proper patient, and I'll put that in quotes, is prescribed the proper comfort. These pets are necessary for some, but certainly not for all, period. So that's a strong ending. That's stating my case. And I say, you need them, yes, but we know that many of the people that we see that have them don't always need them. So the government should get involved and maybe make more laws so that those people can't trick the system and get to take their dogs on a plane. Okay, so I tried hard to clarify my point because throughout this I'm listing all of those facts that I'm not sure if I really got my point across. Either way, this is a rough draft, so no big deal. I saved it yesterday, so all I need to do is click save, and it saves this copy. The only time you click save as is when you are titling a brand new copy of something. So now we come down here and we turn it in again. We turned it in yesterday. There it is. We're going to edit submission. Go to the bottom. Click. We can update. I clicked on the file. Oh, I see. I guess if it doesn't let you, the way I know that it's not going to let me add another file because I'm a silly goose and I did not fix it so you're allowed to add lots of files. I don't see the plus sign with the file. I see the plus sign with the folder. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the file, click delete. Are you sure you want to delete this file? Okay. So now I'm allowed to add my saved brand new copy of the file that I did today. ESA rough draft parody. I only deleted that copy of the file in Moodle. I did not delete it from my computer. I hope that's clear. So you click it, you click open. It's attaching right now because it's beautiful and large. It takes a second. Coming up here, and I'm going to go, this is my completed rough draft. So that way the teacher doesn't think that this was just day one. I actually did the whole thing. Save changes, and you are done. Let me know if you have any questions.